Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Ryan and Megan podcast. Today, we are going to give you a job market update for you travel therapists out there for the month of March in 2025.
Before we hop into today's episode, if you wouldn't mind leaving a 5-star review or a comment or any sort of review wherever you are listening, that would be super helpful. It helps us know that you're there and get the episode out to more people.
Also, this is kind of one of our first travel news updates that we want to do for the travel therapy market. So if you like this style of video, please hit that like button, comment down below. Let us know, because if you don't like it, we're not going to keep doing them. So this is our kind of job market update for March of 2025. If you've been a traveler or looking into travel therapy, it's good to know that the job market really changes depending on what's going on. I know when we started traveling as travel physical therapists, it was right when COVID started and all the travel jobs just tanked off. So it's always nice to kind of give a little market update to kind of say, hey, what is the state of the jobs out there? Because if you're interested in becoming a travel therapist, you kind of want to know if there's a job available out there for you. So we reached out to 3 of our top recruiters from 3 different companies, 1 smaller company, 2 bigger companies. And they kind of gave us a lowdown on, how many PTs, OTs, SLPs there are job-wise out there, and then gave us their take from their company. So everyone's a little bit different, but there's some cohesiveness. And so we're going to go over those today.
Nice. It's going to be a lot of good information, and we're going to hit the different professions as well. So this isn't just PT, PTA, SLP, OT if they had any. So stay tuned if you're one of those other professions.
All righty. So just from reviewing these 3 big travel companies and the recruiters that we personally work with and use, it looks like job-wise, PT is kind of on top again. So if you're a physical therapist out there really looking to get into travel therapy, now's a very good time. The market is very hot for physical therapists. Usually when we look at kind of what the market looks like, physical therapists usually have the most travel jobs available out there, but that they're way up there again.
And that's talking about the therapies, not nursing.
No. So we're all only looking at allied health right now. That's kind of the lane that we're in. If you work with a travel company, what you'll find out is some travel companies only worked with allied health, or they only work with nurses. But a lot of them will have 2 different divisions. So only looking at allied health professionals, so your PTs, your OTs, your SLPs, and then some assistants. So we'll give an update on those assistant markets too. So just going off of kind of our sheet here from our recruiters, like I said, physical therapy is way up there. Our smaller company, even though they're a smaller company, they have a lot of direct clients, they still have 550 PT jobs out there, and that's the low end. Our 2 big companies, one of them has 801 jobs, and then a really big company has 1,027 jobs. And so a majority of these jobs, it looks like, are in outpatient, which is pretty typical. A lot of times outpatient clinics are looking for physical therapists. And then you have like skilled nursing facilities, about 200 of those, like 1,000 jobs. Home health is up there. It's usually about 100, 150 of, 800 to 1,000 jobs. And then inpatient actually seems to be lagging behind a little bit. So very typical market for physical therapy, outpatient jobs out there, home health, skilled nursing facility, and quite a few jobs. So we've had some of our recruiters telling us to tell you guys that, if you're a new grad physical therapist getting into travel, don't settle for $1,500 payout. That is just too low right now with how much competition there is in the market. And so you really want to get up closer to that 2,000 mark per week. So don't settle for that really low number of 1,500. I'd say, you're trying to go up around 18 to up to 2,500 a week.
Before we jump into the next group of therapists, I just want to let you know that we do have recommended travel recruiters. So if you're wanting to get into travel, if this is appealing, you're seeing that your market's good and you really want to see what's out there for you, maybe you're not sure you're ready to travel yet, but you're curious, hit us.
Don't hit us, please. We're fragile, okay?
Hit us up.
We're very fragile.
Hit us up at our email, which is ryanandmeganorear@gmail.com. And then we also usually have a link in the show notes that will just bring you directly to a form you can fill out, and we will get your recommendations over to your inbox. So it is not a commitment. It is really, no low stress, nothing crazy, just getting you introduced so you can start figuring out a little bit more.
So Megan's reviewing our list. She hasn't looked at this, so I'm kind of throwing it on her.
Information.
Does that surprise you, though, that physical therapy has quite a few more jobs compared to the other ones? And I'll compare them here in a second.
No, I would say since we've started traveling, PT is typically one of the highest job opportunities that there is in travel. We have had a lot of assistants reach out to us who are also wanting to travel. They might be a couple with a PT or just an assistant. And so we always try to have a little bit of a beat on what that market is looking like, just because there's typically less opportunities, but also I think it's maybe because of the opportunities, I think it's a little less common to have PTAs trying to travel. So it might kind of work out in your favor. If you're trying to hop into that work pool, there's not that many that I've heard of traveling. Anyway.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, what Megan is saying is if you are a physical therapy assistant, so a PTA, and you're interested in traveling, we actually have a lot of PTAs who are interested in looking into traveling, but we're always real honest with them. The market is not great for travel jobs for PTAs. It's just not that there's not jobs out there. There's just a smaller number. So to compare it, my small company that we work with, they have 550 jobs for physical therapists. For PTAs, they have 120. So you can see the difference, 550, 120. And that's nationwide. So across the country, jobs that's available. And the numbers are very similar even for our bigger companies. So our other big company, PTA jobs across the nation, 136. The other one, 166. So very, very low number of jobs. So what does that mean if you're a PTA and you're watching this video right now? It means you got to be flexible. So you got to be very flexible on pay. You got to be really flexible on what location you're going to go to. They might not have jobs in San Francisco if you want to go to San Francisco. So you're going to have to be very flexible if travel is what you want to do. If you're a couple, like Megan was saying, like one PT and a PTA, you're probably going to have to look for jobs for that PTA first because they will have less options. And then the PT, kind of see what's around there. The other option would be find a PT job and ask, hey, do you have any need for an assistant? I have my partner or my teammate with me that would also like to come. But most likely, 120 jobs to 166 jobs, that's not very many. So the market can be competitive. You're going to have to be flexible if you want to travel as a PTA.
I am happy to hear that pay rates for PT new grads, $1,500 is considered not a no-go now.
No, the market...
That used to be kind of when we first entered the market, $1,500 was pretty average of one that you would consider taking. Now we probably wouldn't consider taking anything below $2,000, just from our experience and where we typically end up taking contracts. So yes, if you are getting right into the market brand new and you're a PT, just know that you can get higher than $1,500 right now.
You're very much in demand, so you are in control. Now, mind you, if you want to go to Hawaii and you're specific on your location and they only have 2 jobs in Hawaii, well, you might have to take a lower pay. But what we're saying is there's a lot of jobs out there. So broaden your horizons, broaden what location you're going to, and you can get a higher pay. I'm seeing some of these jobs that my recruiters have sent us where PTs are making anywhere from like 23 all the way up to like 26,000. $2,600 per week. That's take home money in your pocket. So they're out there. The high money jobs are out there. You just might have to go somewhere that isn't a tourist destination. Now, I think going off the PTAs, so saying that, 120 to 166 jobs is really low, I think this is a great caveat to talk about our occupational therapy market right now. So, from the numbers that I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing from the recruiters, OTs are having a really competitive market, really tough time because their jobs are kind of sitting stagnant right now. Our small company only has 126 OT jobs. That's right there on par with the PTAs. Our bigger companies are sitting at 231 and 168. So again, if you compare that to PT where we're at like 500 to 1,000 jobs, the OT market is low right now. So if you're an OT looking to get into travel, the same recommendations we made with the PTAs will probably be, your best bet. You got to be flexible on your pay and where you're going. You're probably going to have multiple people interviewing for that job. So really make sure, watch our video on how to interview for a travel therapy job, what to ask. It's just a competitive market. Now, I will give you one caveat so it's not all doom and gloom for you OTs out there because we love you. We have one travel recruiter that was talking about how we've been sitting at that 175 to 200 job mark for OTs for like the past 2 or 3 years. And so we're slowly but steady seeing it increase to where their jobs are up to 230. So that is a good sign. That's the direction we want that to go for you OTs, but it is a competitive market, just so you know.
With that, we'll move on to COTAs, the OT assistants, and just kind of give you an overview of what our companies are saying is out there for you assistants. For our smaller company, they have 44 openings, and then our bigger ones have 76 and 67. So they are out there. But again, that's going to be a competitive market for you guys.
Yes.
And then let's cap it off with our SLPs.
Yes, so I was actually really shocked when I looked at the speech language pathologists, speech therapy travel sector. Our small company, they have a little bit less direct clients with speech. So they're not too big in that lane, so they have less jobs. So I'll kind of scrap them from the heap. But our bigger companies had a lot more speech jobs, and it seems like they're in high demand. And this has been a really big boom for PTs and speech therapists. So
you ready for this?
So if you're a speech therapist, this is really great news for you. The market's hot.
Yes. So it looks like our two bigger companies are listing 781 and 259. So according to our smallest company with their SLPs, they have 109 listings. So we've got two bigger companies that have quite a few job openings. I mean, 781, that's a huge number. That's just trailing PT.
And if you're a speech therapist that is interested in working in schools, I know there is quite a few jobs of people looking to sign you on for the school year. So as a traveler, that's a little different. You'll be there for the whole school year. But our larger company that has the 781 speech jobs, they kind of lean into that right now, and they have more direct clients in school systems. I mean, they're having some speech therapists make $3,000 a week. So that's not every job, but that's really great to see for you guys. And then also they have a ton of CF positions. So after you graduate from speech and you have to do your CF, they do have some job positions that you can go to get that clinical experience, but it's still considered a travel job. So I thought that was really unique. I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah. I'm really impressed by how many job opportunities are out there. And our recruiters are saying that basically, if you're a speech therapist and you're interviewing, you probably will have multiple job opportunities, multiple ones to interview at, and you are going to be in high demand. So you may have a little bit more um, like bargaining power.
They are also saying, I was talking directly to one of our recruiters about speech and it kind of booming. And he was saying that a lot of speech therapists out there are looking for remote jobs because that's kind of the hot thing in speech right now, remote jobs, work at home stuff. So it's actually kind of leaving these travel jobs where you have to go into a facility, a skilled nursing facility, a hospital, outpatient even, school setting. It's kind of leaving them open because less speech therapists are wanting to go to a facility. They're all looking for remote work, and that's not necessarily what travel does. So it's even making those jobs even more open for you and more competitive, thus higher pay rates. So really, just to kind of wrap everything up, the physical therapy and the speech disciplines really looking good for the job market here in February and March. We're coming out of the winter season lull. Usually around December, January, and even a little bit into February, we see a dip in jobs as facilities and hospitals are trying to figure out, what can we afford? Do we need to bring travelers on? So that's going to start upticking. And so the job market looks really good for PTs and SLPs. OTs, hang in there. It does seem like we're getting a little bit of an increase.
Well, it seems like it's steady and, like you were saying, slightly increasing. So if you have been traveling in the past or if you've been wanting to travel as an OT, now's just as good a time as any for your market. It's looking relatively good.
Yes, it's looking healthy in a sense that it's not dropping down to that 100 range like we saw in COVID. And so very good. If you're an assistant, you've heard us say it a billion times on here, you got to be flexible. There's just less assistant jobs needed out there. So your market's competitive. But I hope this was a great job market update and a good travel news review. Hopefully, we do more travel news update videos and podcasts for you guys, stuff to do with the PT Compact or anything we're getting sent across our email desk from other people. But hopefully, this was super helpful for you all.
Thanks for listening. And until next time, see ya.